Well, let's get to our first conversation this afternoon. As President Bola Tinubu has signed the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025 into law, another great development. The National Insurance Commission, NIIRA, has expressed its profound gratitude to His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for assenting to the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, shortened to NIIRA 2025, NIIRA. According to NIIRA, this marks a significant milestone in the history of the industry and underscores this administration's commitment to the financial sector's reforms and economic growth. NIIRA adds that NIIRA 2025 is a game changer for the industry, providing a modernized framework that will enhance insurance penetration, promote economic growth, protect policyholders' interests, and attract investment into the insurance sector. Well, let's talk to the main man, the Commissioner for Insurance and Chief Executive Officer of the National Insurance Commission, Mr. Olusegun Omoshehin. He joins me live from our Abuja studios for this very interesting conversation. Thank you so much, Commissioner. It's good to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much, Larry. I'm happy to be here. And good afternoon, Nigerians.
Yes, it's good to have you in, CEO. Well, first, can you give us an overview of the implication of this law to the insurance industry? I think we can start this conversation from there.
Thank you. The Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025, which is NIIRA 2025, is what I call a modern legislation. Since there's a historical context to this, the last legislation on the regulation of insurance was in 2003, which is the Insurance Act 2003. So it's taken us about 22 years after to have a more modern, unified law that we can adopt as a sector. And the other interesting part of this legislation is it consolidates about 5 other legislation into it. So it's a consolidated, unified legal and regulatory framework for the insurance sector. And to this extent, it's a very welcome development. Maybe before I go too deep into the conversation, I'd like to just seize this opportunity to say a big thank you to Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for graciously assenting to this bill, which is in furtherance of the reform in the financial services sector. And so we're happy to be an integral part of this, and also use the opportunity to thank even the leadership of the National Assembly, particularly the sponsor of the bill then, there is an act now, Senator Adetokunbo Mukail Abiru, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions, and his committee members, as well as his counterpart in the House of Representatives, Honorable Usman Jaha, who has also been a major pillar, and not forgetting my own constituency, the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, and the Minister of State, for all of the support we've gotten in this process.
Great stuff. Now, but I really want you to take us through, CEO, how this would help us change the present framework of the industry and particularly increase insurance penetration.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's pretty, let me summarize it this way.
Okay.
It's a modern regulation that allows the sector to be better regulated in terms of having principles as the basis of regulation, as opposed to the rule-based system we were operating, which was more prescriptive and what have you. So what we have now is a more modern form of legislation that would, boost investors' confidence, insurance penetration. It mandates quicker claim settlement. And one of the major provisions is also a minimum share capital requirements with the advantage of risk-based capital layered on this. And what this does really is to allow for better stability, more stability in terms of the operation of operators. It also allows for better solvency on the part of those operators, allows local operators to be able to underwrite larger tickets of businesses, as well as ability to actually retain more locally. So these are in terms of enhancing the capacity of the local operators. So in terms of insurance penetration, how does this help? NIIRA is that law that actually enforces or mandates, enforcement of compulsory insurances, and also allows for digital access, digital solutions to be embedded, in the business of insurance, as well as the inclusion of what I call financial inclusion products like micro insurance, takafu, better defined, clearly defined, as well as agri insurance. What this does is to move insurance from the realm of being perceived as a purely urbanized concept to where the principle can better be practiced even in the local areas, hitherto people that have never had the opportunity of enjoying the benefits of insurance. And beyond this is the confidence it gives to would-be policyholders by way of the protection it offers. You might have read in some of the literature that one of the key elements of the current law is its clear focus on the protection of policyholders. The law makes provision for a policyholders protection fund. And when we are saying policyholders protection fund, it's not a fund that the government would then need to create to go and put money. It's a fund that has been created and will be funded from a portion of the premium that policyholders are already paying. So what it means is operators will then be remitting a fraction of whatever premiums they've received from members of the public into this fund. That fund is then managed effectively into such a way that in the case of insolvency of any insurer, the fund then takes care of policyholders. It's akin to what you see as NDIC in the banking sector. But this is more comprehensive because it's not a case of protecting just an aspect of your policies. Total protection for whatever investment you've made in the insurance policy. So that gives you full protection in events of insolvency.
Clear stuff there. You've already touched on market confidence, which is something that NICOM has focused on in recent times. Now, how do we use this law and, of course, other reforms embarked on by your leadership to unlock the insurance sector's full potential and significantly drive economic development?
Thank you very much. I think the essence or the motivation behind the signing of this act by Mr. President is to support the federal government agenda towards a $1 trillion economy. And NIIRA 2025 specifically aligns with the goals of the federal government in terms of the $1 trillion economy. It supports by giving financial guarantee or stability of the financial sector. That is a major aspect of the law. And also, it also provides opportunity for the sector, given the enlarged capital that would, now be in operation by operators, the opportunity to de-risk, such a huge economy, giving confidence to investors to be able to take risk. And more importantly, the law provides for proper governance, adequate governance around the operation of insurance operators, better oversight by way of adequate empowerment of the regulation of insurance operation by giving more powers to the regulator. So all of this, will in effect give confidence to investors. So investors can now invest more. More investors will come into the sector. And of course, we will likely see some level of consolidation that will happen in the sector. All of this is in an attempt to create the required stability that is necessary for our economy to thrive. And like I always say, no economy in this world would thrive without a vibrant and stable insurance sector. And that is what this law has brought to bear.
Oh, I think you took it ahead of me, my next question, because I was to ask you that for a $1 trillion economy, I wanted to know specifically what the role of the insurance sector is.
Thank you. The role of the insurance sector, just like I explained earlier, is to create the stability that is required for the economy. And what that means is insurance being the bedrock of protection, of security, would then be there to provide the necessary and the adequate security that is required for businesses to venture, to take the available risk, for them to do what they know how to do best, for businessmen to be out there, to take the risk whilst insurance provides the protection that is required. So in a nutshell, you can describe it as de-risking, the economy in order to allow the economy to really thrive. That is the purpose. And you can only do that when you have an insurance sector that is adequately capitalized, that is stable, and that gives comfort, to the businesses, to the individuals, and to institutions that operate within that economy. And that is precisely the role of NIIRA, to ensure that we have an enabling legal and regulatory framework that the $1 trillion economy requires to be able to operate. And that precisely is the focus of the law. Now, what is then important in all of this is the critical role of the regulator. The National Insurance Commission in this regard is meant to ensure effective and adequate implementation of all the provisions of the law. And mind you, one of the critical areas of interest in the law is the aspect that relates to claim settlement. Oftentimes, that is an interesting area where consumers do have doubts. So the law actually provides for a quicker process of claim settlement, and those are clearly areas of interest to the regulator in terms of enforcement and implementation. And all of these together will assist, in delivering the $1 trillion economy, which we all strive for. So I can say in a nutshell that the insurance sector is ready for business. It's the best time now for investors to start to look at the sector. I was quite impressed with some of the reactions I've seen to the announcement or the assent of Mr. President, going by reports even at NGX as of close of business yesterday. So and many more of this will come because where you have a properly governed sector with clear and modern regulation that is futuristic, And mind you, the provision also is such that we've modernized the process, so to speak, moving forward. The role of fintechs and insurtechs is properly accommodated, in the law. So for our Gen Zs, this is the time to be in insurance and to see those areas, how they can make contributions and how they can adequately benefit from the new law. I can say that the law is going to enable business for the sector, and the regulator is set, to enforce and implement. And I'm sure the operators too are quite excited as to the opportunities this provides. Thank you.
Interesting stuff as always, CEO. You recently mentioned that the insurance companies should brace up for recapitalization. Now, how prepared are the insurance companies operating in the country for this?
Okay. Well, I think I wouldn't say this is coming as a surprise to many operators. You recall that there have been previous attempts made by previous regimes to sort of come up with a new regulation or a new law for the insurance sector. This has been in the works for some time, even though it had not come to the sort of stage we are now. The president's accent has only signaled the beginning of the full pronouncement of some of the provisions. And a key one, which I alluded to earlier, is the MCR, the minimum capital requirement for both life, non-life, composite, and reinsurance institutions. How prepared are the operators? I honestly think many of them are already looking at as to how to raise capital, or some have even on their own raised some level of capital. But also there are other options beyond just raising capital. There are options of mergers, there are options of acquisitions. But what is important is at the end of the exercise, because very soon the regulator will also churn out a framework of implementation of the provisions of this law, which will clearly state the timeline for some of those major activities that should happen. So in terms of preparedness, I think the market is prepared and would just wait and see how things will turn out in the next couple of months. But I'm happy as the National Insurance Commission, we're happy with the prospect of this new law because we want to see a very vibrant, stable insurance sector that is out there to protect the Nigeria economy. Interesting stuff. So before I let you go, what more in your capacity? I know a lot of work has been going on since you got into office. Are you doing to strengthen the industry and build the needed confidence across the board? Sorry, can you take that again? Sorry. Okay. I asked you that, what are you doing? What more are you doing in your capacity to strengthen the entire industry and to build the needed confidence across the board? Thank you. I think the most important aspect of our work as regulators is to strengthen the sort of regulatory oversight that we have. So the major part of what we will do has just started because we now have a new law, which is in a way which has given us a higher platform on which to draft the necessary regulations that will ensure full compliance with the provisions of this law. Also, part of what we are doing is in terms of the growth of the market. We are very clear in terms of what the Commission, how the Commission can enable businesses or enable operators to be able to do a lot more. One key aspect we would also channel our energies on is in terms of ensuring compliance on the part of government. You realize that part of the provisions of the new law is that even government assets, and to be more specific, for instance, government vehicles are not exempted from the compulsory third-party motor insurance. And in like manner, you find that road infrastructure are also provided as part of those things that should be compensated in case motorists run into such. So these are clearly areas that we are going to be developing. But more importantly is the aspect of giving confidence to the Nigerian people. We would continue to elevate the role of consumer protection as it relates to the National Insurance Commission. We will elevate it to the level that Nigerians can begin to have trust and confidence, in the insurance system, because we are the voice. We are there to help the consumers. We are there to stand for them. We are there to protect them. We are there to ensure that they get compensation in the event of any incident or in the event they suffer any loss which have been insured. So genuine claims are our priority, and we'll continue to ensure that, look, they are adequately and timely met. These are part of the areas of focus, even though we've been doing bits and pieces of this, but I think we are going to be heavy moving forward in these areas, just to give comfort to the Nigerian people. One key element you will see when people analyze this sector, they will always allude to the fact that there has been some erosion of trust. So how then do we build trust? We will build trust by giving comfort to the Nigerian people. And those are clearly the reason for the regulator to put more emphasis on consumer protection, and we'll do much of that in the coming days. Thank you.
Mr. Olusegun Omosheyin, thank you so much. Commissioner for Insurance, CEO, National Insurance Commission. Thanks for shedding light on this new law. Wish you all the best and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, Larry. I'm happy to be here.
Tolu, please. Tolu. No problems. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you.